everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a what's in my school bag slash school organization video because a lot of you guys have been requesting that, so I thought it would be really helpful for you guys and to learn some new tricks and tips on how to stay organized and have the best school year ever. This is my hefty bag here. I got this from Urban Outfitters and I mentioned it in my haul video for back to school clothes. It has this big pocket up here for things and then these two big zippered pouches for holding things in, and on the back there's no like pockets or anything. And the thing I really like about this is that besides these handles it has this extra long handle right here. Just a word of advice here, my last school bag, which I could probably go show you, but it's a Lucky brand bag, and that's what I had since like 9th and 10th grade, and the handles were a little smaller than this actually, and that is so, like, you don't think about it when you're buying it because you're like, oh, this is so cute, I'm gonna love it, and it was perfectly like sized and whatever. So I have 4 classes a day, and so I have 4 different classes every term, but some classes are semester long, but I get like 4 textbooks or something. And that bag is more vertical than it was horizontal, and I figured out that horizontal bags are more practical than more vertical bags. At my high school, what we do is everyone carries around a backpack and you don't use a locker, but you get a locker, but no one uses it. So you just carry all of our stuff in our backpack at one time. We don't carry a locker or anything. So for me, I really like that because I know middle school, when we had lockers, I just could not keep my stuff organized. Like, I was just so unorganized, and I would tell myself every year that I'm going to be organized, I'm going to be different, but it really wasn't. So it really was just not a good thing for me, who was not organized, to have a locker. So I can't really tell you anything about locker organization because I'm not the person to ask. But I would always leave my homework and stuff in there, so it's really helpful for me to know that it's always with me at all times. So go for a horizontal bag versus a vertical bag because I think they're just way more practical when you think about it, because when I had all these textbooks, it just grew and grew, and with these short handles, what's going to happen is it's just going to be way too much weight for you. And it's just going to look super awkward. Like, my hand was out here every time, I'm not even joking. And I was just like slugging along, you know, like I was like so heavy and it was just weighing me down. And it was just gave me really bad backache, and I'm really surprised I did not get scoliosis. But what I really like about this is that it has this super long strap, so it distributes my weight better, and I can keep it on this shoulder and I can keep it on the other shoulder, and I can also crisscross it around myself, so it's kind of like this. So I just like carrying it like this most of the time, so that's helpful. If you find a bag that comes with an extra long strap, that is a bonus. So on to my actual organization of my bag. In this pouch, this front pouch right here, I just keep little makeup items like what I'm wearing the day. So if I'm wearing a certain lip gloss and lipstick, I will put it in here, and I will also make sure that I have chapstick in here. This is the chapstick cherry chapstick. Nothing special, but I just keep that in here because my lips get chapped during the day, and that's not good. So I just like to keep kind of essentials in there. I don't really carry a makeup bag to school, but anything that I'm wearing that I think might come off during the day and I want to reapply, like lip gloss and lipstick, I will just keep in there. And it's also good to keep like maybe a spare mascara in there, because sometimes if you're running late or something and you just don't have time to do it, it's really nice to just do it on the bus or in the car and go. So it's just a lot easier. Tell you what's in my bag just so I can kind of take it out and show you more stuff of where I keep it. But I have this binder right here, and it's just like a lilac purple binder, which I actually haven't labeled yet, which usually I do. So, okay, and in my binder I keep these dividers, and I think these are the best dividers to get of all of the dividers out there, because it has kind of a table of contents page, which is really helpful, and it's color coordinated to match the tabs right here. So it color coordinates with the tabs, and I think that's really nice to have for a class that maybe you have a lot of papers for, and it just helps keeps your binder more organized. So what I like to do is, I haven't actually had to use this yet because my 4 classes, none of them I've had to really use a binder for yet, but if I do decide to switch one of my classes into the binder, then this is the one I'm going to do. And so what I like to do is, you know, assign a number, like let's say for number 2, I want to keep my homework, so I'll write homework, and then I can just flip to number 2, and then all of my homework for that class will be right there. So I will know when the teacher comes to check it, or if I'm going to go pass it up or correct it. that I know all the time where it's going to be, and that way it just saves you the amount of time to go look for it, because sometimes I'm like, oh, did I leave it in my notebook? Which side did, what page did I write it on my notebook, or what folder did I put it in? So this just kind of keeps it all so you know where it is, and then you can separate the classes, maybe chapters, different chapters that you have, or quizzes and tests, and I think it's just really helpful. So that is a good idea to do. Then behind the tabs I have college ruled paper, and I'm kind of a color coordinated freak about stuff, and you'll see that when I show you my notes. Alright, so then I have my math book, and we have to cover it in paper bag. I need to decorate this though because it's pretty boring, so nothing special there. Then I have my calculator, which is a TI 84 Plus Silver Edition. Yep. So I have my planner right here, and this is a little tab sticking out because I like to know what week we're on, so that's helpful to do, is put a post-it where so you don't have to flip through and find, what week you're on. Then I have this little notebook right here, and this is from 5 Star, and it's super cute, so I had to get it, and it's just basically, has little pocket folders and college ruled paper. And I think this is nice because it's a smaller notebook. The book is much smaller than a normal notebook, but I got this because for those classes that it really doesn't matter, you're just writing notes for maybe tests, like if you have a foods class or something and you need to write down tools, or just little stuff like that where you really don't need to waste big paper. I like to use this and just write down little notes and stuff like that. You can also use this as a planner, but I like to use this as just one of those classes that isn't really a core class. That's what I like to use for that. And then I have a 3-subject notebook, and I usually like the 5-subject, but I have 4 classes at a time, so it kind of doesn't make sense if I do that. So I have a super helpful tip for you guys if you are having troubles taking in what you're writing in your notes, because I have had that problem in the past, but ever since I did this new method of writing down notes, it helped me so much. So what I like to do is color coordinate my notes. As you can see, all the headings are a certain color, and it changes for each class. For my lit class, I'm using purple as the heading and then pink as the regular text. The top part of here is orange. I didn't like it because it wasn't, getting enough ink out, so I switched to pink. But for each different class, I will switch the heading color and the text color so I know which class it's for right away, and I just kind of know that right off the bat. For me, I hate how pencil looks so boring and dull. To me, it just looks so unappealing to look at. So when I look at my notes and I see that it's colored, then I'm like instantly attracted to it and I just want to read it. For me, I'm a very, very visual learner, so I really like the colored pen idea. So different heading color, and if you have something that's like bolded, I do a different color for that. And I just think it's really helpful because when I'm going back and reviewing for tests, I just know where the headings are, and I know that, if we get a study guide and it's like, go to who are the Puritans or something, then I know, okay, that heading is right here. I know that this is all about the Puritans or something. So I just think that's a really good idea if you guys are having trouble, taking in what your notes are reading, because I know that you do forget a little bit, and it's just, when you have to go over stuff, this is the best way for me to review my stuff. So I don't write my math notes in that because math, I feel like I just mess up so many times, and it's just way too hard to write in pen for math. I recommend only doing it for classes like a lit class, or like communication class, or history, stuff like that, where you don't have to, constantly erase if you're making mistakes all the time in math. So then I have these 4 pretty colored folders here, and they're all from 5 Star because I really like the 5 Star quality, even though they do bend. I feel like all folders are going to bend. I have 4 classes in a day, so I keep 4 different folders just for each class. A really simple organization tip, but very effective, because if you just have 1 or 2 folders for all your classes, it's going to get very, very crowded and very unorganized. It's going to be so much harder for you to find your stuff. If you have a class that you're not going to do a binder for, I think it's very helpful to put homework on one side and then classwork on the other side, so you know that your homework is always going to be on one side, so you always know where it is, that you don't forget it. So again, just keep a folder for each class if you don't have a binder for one, and that's a simple tip, but it's very, very helpful, especially when you're in high school. And then I have a book called Tuesdays with Maury that I have to read for a volunteering class that I am taking, and the Scarlet Letter for a lit class that I'm in. I like to put little tabs up here so that way I know what chapter is where. So if I'm going to go back and review, if we're going to discuss about a certain chapter in class or have questions on it, I know that, you know, orange is first chapter, the yellow second chapter, 3 is the third chapter. So that way I can just easily flip to the page and know where I am. So that's a good tip too. And then a pencil bag. Yes, pencil bag. I absolutely hate pencil pouches. I know that kind of is like the same thing, but I mean like a pocket pouch. So the ones that go in binders that are like made of, I don't know. I just don't like the ones that go in binders. I don't like that, but I just have a separate pencil pouch. And to make things cute, I bought this one at Ulta, and this is by the brand Steph & Co., if you guys are wondering. And this is actually an orange, but they come in hot pink, yellow, and green is the ones that I saw in this. And they were on sale when I got them, so maybe they're still on sale. But it's just kind of this pretty patent look and has little shimmers in it, so that was really cute. But anyway, all I keep in here are 2 mechanical pencils, which I really like these Papermate ones. The rest of the stuff in here are pens, which is for my notes because you guys have seen my notes and you know that I like to color coordinate. I just have a bunch of pen colors because I love pens and I love to write my notes in them. And then I think it's nice to have lead if you are going to have mechanical pencils. Make sure you have lead so you don't have to bother people all the time and be like, can I have a pencil or can I have lead? It's just nice to have your own. I think this is a good size because it's not too big and it definitely can fit all of my stuff in here. Okay, so as for the inside, we have this little pouch right here, which is really helpful. I like to keep my cell phone in here because I always know where it is and I don't have to go digging through my backpack if I want to, you know, grab it for lunch. So I always know where it is if it's up in this pouch. So along with that, I keep my Jergens Ultra Healing Intense Moisture Therapy Fragrance-Free Moisturizer. So it's just a little lotion that I like to keep because it's a nice pocket size and fits right in there. And I also keep Bath & Body Works hand sanitizers, but I actually ran out, so I need to go get some more, and there are Halloween ones out right now, so I'm pumped to go get that. Okay, and then on the opposite side, I have these 2 pockets right here, which I could also keep my cell phone in, but I don't. I actually keep my ID card for school in, but the rest of it is just, you know, this big open space right here. There's nothing in it, but that's because I took out all my stuff. Okay, so as for the stuff that actually is in the bag, I keep everything in size order. It goes from the biggest, which is the binder, all the way to the smallest, which is my calculator / pencil pouch. And I almost forgot, so in these 2 pouches right here, I also keep things. Sorry, it's so heavy, I'm dying up here. Okay, I have some reinforcement labels in clear, which I just got from like Office Depot, Office Max, and you just pull them down here and they come out up here. But these are just nice for my papers that I need to stick in my binder. I put them along the holes. And then in this other pouch down here, I keep snacks that I get, like fruit snacks and stuff, because I get hungry. I just like to keep some Curious George fruit snacks because these are the best fruit snacks in the entire world. And the last things I keep in that pouch are just these multicolored Post-it notes, which are helpful for labeling my books and labeling my notes, and if I want to section things off, this is what I use. So I think little Post-it notes are super helpful and handy to have when you just need to mark things. So yeah, I hope you guys picked up on some tips and tricks maybe to keep yourself a little bit more organized than you were before. I really like the pen thing with my notes and stuff, so I really know where to look if you're a visual learner. That is super helpful if you don't like the dull pencils. And yeah, I'm not trying to say I'm the most organized person in the world. I know that you could probably make yourself even more organized, and I'm sure some of you are. So if you guys have any tips that you really like, that really work for you to keep yourself organized, comment below and let people know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!